Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today is March the 27th, 2024. I hereby call the Property and Planning Subcommittee to order. Madam Clerk, would you please take the roll?
Representative Martin?
Present.
Representative Raper?
Here.
Representative Reedy? Representative Rudd? Representative Thompson?
Here.
Representative Wright?
Here.
Chairman Crawford? Chairman Carr?
Here.
Chairman Carr, you have a quorum.
Thank you. And the reason we were waiting just a minute was making sure we had a quorum. We cannot, for the schools, people that are attending, we have to have a quorum before we can start. Before we get started, any personal orders from anyone on the committee? Representative Martin, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman Carr. I am so delighted today to have a beautiful group of young people from Loftus Middle School in my district that are here, and their principal, Dr. Gatlin, that is here, and I want you to welcome them at this time. I have to say that my 4 boys went to Loftus Middle School, all 4 of them, and all 4 of them were accepted to the University of Tennessee. And so I always like to tell the faculty up there at Loftus Middle School what a phenomenal job they do. And I was telling these young people earlier how privileged they are to go to such a great school, public school in our district at Loftus Middle School. So would you make them feel welcome?
Thank you so much for being here. Anyone else on the committee before we get started? Seeing no further personal orders, we'll go to item number 1. House Bill 2241 by Cochran has been taken off notice. Item number 2, House Bill 2868 by Chairman Vaughn. Chairman Vaughn, you are recognized.
Motion.
Chairman, I see that you have an amendment. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Drafting code, please.
My drafting code on the amendment, sir, is 015586.
I concur with that. You're recognized.
Thank you, sir. As amended, this bill would authorize Shelby County to change the allocation of the hotel motel tax in order to provide funding for FedEx Forum renovations to continue to serve as the home of the Memphis Grizzlies and my beloved Memphis State Tigers. It allows them to change the allocation, the list of priorities, and to commit more money towards that renovation. It does not allow an increase in the tax, and it does not authorize Shelby County to increase the tax. This bill ensures that Shelby County's hotel motel tax rate will continue at 5% under the current.
Thank you, Chairman. And as we all know, we've been working on this, or y'all have for a while, and I think we've probably come to a good spot on this. Has anybody on the committee have a question for the sponsor? Representative Thompson, you're recognized.
Okay, I don't have questions. I just wanted to compliment the sponsor on the bill. I think it's a good way to ensure that we have our FedEx Forum has the renovations it needs without having to raise taxes too. Thank you.
Chairman, if I may take a personal plea, a minute.
Yes, sir.
I need a motion and a second on the amendment, please.
Motion.
Second. Okay, we're properly informed. You're recognized.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And I was just going to reply to Representative Thompson. I think the credit goes to the graciousness of the Convention and Visitors Bureau there in Shelby County. They worked all weekend, and also the determination and willingness of Memphis's new mayor, Paul Young. Him and his staff put in an inordinate amount of hours to get with Convention and Visitors Bureau to work something out. And I think they did a great job and come up with something that everybody could live with.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman Wright, you recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Chairman Vaughn. You just answered my question, but I want to reiterate the question was asked. For the legislative intent, everyone seems to be on board.
You recognized.
Yes, sir. That is correct. There's details working their way through the system, but the handshake and the deal in principle has been agreed to, and more should be coming out on that as this bill moves forward through the process.
Thank you. Any further questions? Representative Martin, you're recognized.
Chairman Vaughn, thank you. And thank you for fighting for your community. I think it's awesome. But when you say that everyone's worked out the details, I'm assuming you're talking about everyone in the Shelby County area.
You recognized, Chairman.
Yes, sir. This bill is with the population limits that are in this bill. Shelby County is the only county that this applies to. And this authorizes them to move forward with the process of completing the funding gap between the money that this body allocated towards them last year and other contributions from everyone from minority owners to City of Memphis. And this is the last dollars into the fund to complete the renovation, something we're really excited about and should lock up the Grizzlies for another few decades.
Representative Martin?
And I respect and appreciate that, but I'm going to be voting against the bill today because I've talked with some of the people involved in the tourism industry in my county, and they've got some concerns that they've shared with me, the people that deal with that. So I respect it, but that's my whole reasoning, because I'm listening to the people back home that sent me here to Nashville, and I want to do what people that live in that space. So thank you. Thank you for the bill.
Any further questions to the sponsor? Seeing none, we're voting on House Bill 2860. Excuse me.
We got to vote on the amendment first.
I'm sorry. You know, I'm not on my game today. All those in favor of amendment drafting code 15586 going on the bill, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. We are back on the bill as amended now. We've done discussed everything, but we're in the proper form now. Any further questions to the sponsor? Seeing none, we're all voting on House Bill 2868 going on to full committee. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. No. Bill moves on to full committee. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee.
House Bill number 3, House Bill 1968 by Williams has been taken off notice. Item number 4, House Bill 2797 by Hulsey is rolled to the hill. Mr. Sergeant, will you see if you can find Representative Hulsey post for me, please? Item number 5, House Bill 776 by Chairman Helton Haynes. You're recognized. You have a motion and second. You have an amendment on that, please, ma'am?
I do. The drafting code is 017376.
Do I hear a motion on the amendment? Motion and second. You're recognized on the amendment, or you want to put that on the bill first?
Please.
Next to the bill. All those in favor of Amendment 1737 going on the bill, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. We're back on the bill as amended. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In 2011, the General Assembly passed the Border Region Act to encourage tourism and make Tennessee more competitive with bordering states by empowering local governments to encourage the development of extraordinary retail or tourism facilities, including shopping, recreational, and other activities. This amendment is a cleanup to redefine the costs moving forward for this bill. It clearly specifies that the key recruiting tools are incentivizing discounted rent and relocation assistance as included as a cost. The developer cost submittals that exceed $3 million must be reviewed and certified by an independent CPA that is licensed in the state prior to submission to the Commissioner of Revenue. The Commissioner of Revenue must review and approve or disapprove cost submittals each year within 120 days of submission and approval or disapprove all prior cost submittals within 120 days of passing this amendment. This bill only applies to Bristol, Kingsport, and Eastridge, and all stakeholders are in agreement with this amendment.
Any questions to the sponsor? Chairman Crawford, you're recognized.
Move previous question.
Previous question has been called for. That's undebatable. All those, I guess we're voting on House Bill 776, moving on to full committee. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. Bill moves on to full committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee.
The chair will take a privilege here of going back to the Hill. I had rolled Chairman Hulsey to the Hill. I'm going to bring him back up at this particular time. House Bill 2797 by Chairman Hulsey. Chairman Hulsey, you are recognized. You've got a motion second. Chairman, I see 2 different amendments on that. Are you going to run any one in particular?
Both of them, sir.
Okay, sir. Can you give me one of the drafting codes, please?
017340.
I do show that one. All those in favor. That's the second one. Let's get the first one first, if you don't care, sir. That's it. You have the other.
015086.
That is correct. That's what I show. All those in favor of 015086 amendment, say aye. Aye. Going on the bill, say aye. All those opposed, no. That's on the bill now, and we go to amendment number 2. Motion and properly seconded. All those in favor of amendment 1734, going on the bill, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. We're back on the bill as amended. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for your indulgence with me. I appreciate it very much.
You need indulgence.
I actually was going to the wrong hearing room, so I'm sorry.
That's all right. We knew you get lost every now and then.
When we passed a bill last year to establish this blue oval and the Ford plant in West Tennessee, all the effort in looking at it was done dealing with Ford moving in and the workforce coming in and the money that goes behind it and all that process. But I didn't hear a whole lot of talk about how you're going to accommodate 6,000 workers and where they're going to live. And so a group of folks began to work on this problem of housing and infrastructure and where these folks are going to live are going to work there. And so this bill actually sets up the framework to begin that process of establishing infrastructure, getting the land, looking at the project of how you're going to put houses on there. And I've got some folks here who would like to speak to that issue, who know much more about it than I do, if you will indulge them.
Okay, well, at that time, I guess now we will go out of session. And we'd ask that, is your speaker Mr. Daniel Karst, is that correct? Or whoever wants to speak?
You can stand here, or you can sit there, either one.
If you'll state your name and who you're with, please, sir, you'll have 3 minutes.
Yes, sir. Chairman Carr, I'm Aaron Murphy.
Aaron Murphy, okay?
Thank you, Chairman Carr and subcommittee members, representatives here. Greetings. It's a pleasure and privilege to stand before you on today to speak on behalf of this proposed bill. It's also an exciting time to be living in the state of Tennessee. Not too long ago, the state, under the leadership of Governor Lee, has received the largest investment, one of the largest investments in Tennessee history, $5.6 billion by the Ford dealership, Ford company, agreeing to build its automotive plant in West Tennessee, which has been identified as the Blue Oval. The construction of this plant is underway, and it is committed to bring over 5,800 jobs for that region as a whole. In addition to that, the state has invested millions of dollars in the workforce development efforts to help places like Ford with thousands of workers they will need to have, they will need, but they delay in terms of providing workforce housing. The Tennessee Department of Economic and Community Development met with 15 organizations while developing a growth plan for West Tennessee concerning growth needs for the Blue Oval region, and has asked them one very question: what are the gaps and the holes for growth? The answer is they don't have enough infrastructure for housing development. For the past 8 to 9 months, housing developers and builders have invested much time with due diligence for possible residential housing projects in the Blue Oval region, but unfortunately have not found much success. The major challenge that they are all encountering is water sewer infrastructure needs. Not only towns like Mason and Stanton in the Blue Oval region, but many other areas across the state of Tennessee are in emergent need of funding mechanisms to expand their existing water and sewer treatment systems. While many are excited about the 5,800 jobs that will be coming to the West Tennessee area of this great state, that will be provided to many families and individuals, many who are relocating for these employment opportunities are left with the one very question: where are we going to live, and where is the place we're going to call home? There is an economic tsunami on the shore of the Blue Oval region, and multiple national builders and local builders are willing to provide affordable workforce housing for this region, but are greatly challenged to do so without infrastructure provisions. So as I close and head to my seat, like the old preacher would say on Sunday, we are asking for your support and your vote on this bill to help provide a funding mechanism, which will be in turn help position these rural regions like the Blue Oval with infrastructure to build workforce homes
Thank you,
for
sir.
the workforce.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you,
Your
sir.
time. Just any questions to the speaker? Chairman Wright, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I think my question is, do you have about 15 more seconds of what you need to state to us before the board does then ask you questions?
You know, there's a certain cause that you have in life. We're all called to do something. I heard Representative Martin do an extraordinary job communicating to the future leaders of our state. I think we should all carry the conscience of providing infrastructure for growth. And the infrastructure we need is workforce housing. There are millions of dollars that are being invested in the state, all across the state, for workforce development, but we need workforce infrastructure in terms of housing. We need your support.
Thank you. Chairman Wright, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Anyone else for the speaker? If not, we'll go back in session. And the sponsor, please come back again, please. Chairman Rudd, you're recognized.
Hello, Chairman Halsey. This proposal entail any state funds?
It does. Actually, the way it's set up is the state would loan money, not give. There is an avenue for a grant in here too, I think, in the way the bill's written, but the state would loan money to a stakeholder who actually owns the property and will develop the infrastructure in each place a house is going to be built. Put in the paving, do all the utilities, all of that. Then the plan is for, at least who they're talking to now, is 3 major housing corporations. One is Clayton Modular for the modular system, Horton and Century, who have all showed an interest in coming in and building houses. And then the plan is, as I know it now, when they own the land, these developers or the people who are going to do the infrastructure, they own the land. They have the house built, they do the infrastructure. The state loans them money to get that first part of that infrastructure done. And I guess for the whole house. Then when they sell that, they pay a portion of that back to the state.
Is there a
Chairman Rudd.
is there a limit on what the state's going to loan, or do we have any idea how much it would be?
You recognize, Chairman.
I don't have any idea. I'm sorry.
Is this, excuse me, Mr. Chairman, is this also for, is it just for housing, or is it also include like schools, government office buildings? We've already authorized in Blue Oval, I believe, a sewer treatment plant. What all does it entail?
So there is a need for school issues, and they have met with economic development boards. They've met with mayors out of Mason and Brownsville and all around there on the school issues, and actually developing a program that worked very, very well in East Tennessee, building a housing community around a school. And they've looked at that, but no, this money doesn't involve school issues. It does involve just the housing and particularly the infrastructure.
All right, thank you.
Chairman, step back to your speaker there. I mean, I think he's going to tell you how much that's going to involve, how much money. We're not out of session. You need to talk to your sponsor there just for a minute.
I wish you'd asked him when he was up here.
We're back out of session. If you want to answer that question about how much it's going to cost you, you're recognized.
Thank you.
State your name again, please, for the record.
Aaron Murphy. Thank you, Representative Hosey, and thank you, Chairman Carr. The funding structure is trusted in the hands of the Comptroller's office. My team and I have had multiple meetings with Comptroller Jason Mumpower. We met with the Department of Economic and Community Development yesterday. And so the details of how the funding will be structured is not detailed out. However, the Comptroller's office, local economic planning commissions will be the governing factors of this funding. And so where we're challenged with in trying to provide housing, and these rural areas don't have the means or the funds to provide the infrastructure means. So right now, if there's not a creative means or creative funding mechanism, you're looking at people who will be commuting to work at the Ford plant about an hour plus drive every day.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
We're back in session. Representative Martin, you're recognized to the sponsor.
Yes, thank you, Chairman Halsey. You had mentioned about these housing that Horton, Clayton, and some other. Will there be opportunities for small businesses to to be able to, the small builder, to have an opportunity to build some of these homes and take advantage of this infrastructure, or has that decision already been made?
No, I don't think it's been made. As you heard, there have been several meetings down in West Tennessee with this, and there is an open door for other participants in this. It's not just shut out to these three. These are three that have showed an interest and would be willing to work with this project.
You recognize, go ahead.
So if there's a small builder in West Tennessee or East Tennessee that wants to move to West Tennessee, they're going to have an opportunity to be involved in this. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions to the sponsor? Seeing none, I guess we're ready to vote on House Bill 2797, moving on to full committee. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. Bill moves on to full committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee.
Thank you, Mr. If the chairman may please take a privilege here, and I think I've got to get House Bill 2437 by Travis up. He's got to be moving to another committee. So Representative Travis, if you'll come up on your bill, please. We're moving over to item number 8, House Bill 2437. Representative Travis. Representative Travis, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This bill today has been subbed in Senate, so I will not be asking for a vote today for this bill. I would like to entertain it. It is an important bill, and I know we've got a couple bills up there. I think Representative Reed just come in the room has got one that addresses some of this, but one of my concerns is the Communist Party of China owning property in Tennessee. It's real. It's here. It'll happen this year. It'll happen next year. It'll happen the year after that. So I think this bill is so important that I would really like you, Chairman, who's been gracious to roll this bill a couple of times, to even set up a summer study that we may look at this coming year as a real summer study to see what we can come together and see what we can do to protect the Tennesseans.
Do I hear a motion for a summer?
Motion for
I have a
summer
motion from Representative Martin for summer study. Do I hear a second? Second. We have a motion and a second for summer study on this, and we will take this under consideration this summer. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. Bill moves to a summer study.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Carr.
Okay. I'm sorry, Representative Stevens. We'll move back to item number 6, House Bill 2467 by Representative Stevens. Representative Stevens, you are recognized. Do I hear a motion on the bill? Motion. Second. Okay. I believe you have a drafting code. Is that correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we do have an amendment that was filed, but we've since have gotten another amendment on this bill, and that was just sent to me about 5 minutes ago. Do you want to proceed with the amendment we had before, or do you want to?
It was our understanding that we would proceed with this amendment, and then since we've got this other worked out, go with this one because that was an untimely filed amendment. We just got it. We've not really got to look at it close. So if we'll go with the amendment we first had on that, please.
So that's 14990.
That is what I've got. All those in favor of amendment 14990 going on to the bill say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. We're back on the bill as amended.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Last year, the General Assembly asked TASER to do a study on home affordability. That was concluded earlier this year, and hopefully everybody got a copy of that. It was about 146 pages. But this bill is one of the recommendations that TASER came up with to help with home affordability in our state, which we all know is a growing problem. So the original bill, the way it was worded, would allow counties to set up a process to where if your property got rezoned from residential to commercial or to a different type of residential, that would make your property value increase. And of course, your taxes would increase with that. It would allow the counties to set up a process that you could change the value back to what it was before the rezoning. And that way your property taxes would not go up just because your property taxes got rezoned. The Assessors Association was against this because they believe the value is the value. Mm-hmm. And so that's what the hang up has been with this legislation. About 2 hours ago, Senator Yarborough was able to work out the details of this with the Assessors Association, and that's the amendment that was not presented yet. But instead of it becoming about the value of the property, it would allow the county to set up a tax credit program if they choose to do that. And if property values increase, it would allow them to refund the money to the property owner who still has residential and hasn't changed anything with their property. The amendment's going to do the exact same thing that the original bill does, just a different way
Okay.
to where the assessors are satisfied. So that's the general gist of the program. It's kind of like the Greenbelt program. If your property is still going to be used as residential, you're not making any changes to it. Even if it gets rezoned, you would still be able to continue paying the same amount of property taxes.
Any questions to the sponsor? Seeing none, I guess we're ready for House Bill 2460. Chairman Wright, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So what's going to happen to this bill if there's another, are we wanting to close today?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So if we move this, it doesn't mean it's going to get much further without more discussion in full local?
If a chair may take a personal privilege, I was involved in the conversation a couple of hours ago. This bill, the amendment that's on the bill now does about the same thing that the new amendment will do, with just a little bit different wording, which will satisfy the assessors. And with that, if we move this on now, that other amendment will be brought into full. And I know we don't like to do that, but this was a last moment thing. But it will be. If not, I will promise as a chair, if it does not work out, I will send it back, and I will make sure that it does not go any further past the full committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So that allows me to say this bill may live here, but we may not be in agreement at some future date.
That is true. Okay, with that said, all those in favor of House Bill 2467 moving on to full, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. Bill moves on to full committee. Thank you.
Thank you.
Representative Stevens. That brings us over to House Bill number 7. House Bill 2608 by Stevens is off notice. Item number 8, we've already took care of that one. Item number 9 by Representative Hill. Representative Hill, you're recognized on House Bill 2850.
Second.
You're at motion a second. Would you like to put that drafting code on, sir?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman of Committee. I actually, I think we'll pass on adding the amendment if that's okay with you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
House Bill 2850 seeks to address a real problem in Tennessee. We've heard about it before today, and that's affordable housing. The good news is, Mr. Chairman, is because of years of Republican supermajority-led policies, our state is low tax, and it's a free environment that's becoming a haven for people around the country. And Mr. Chairman, those folks are welcome. But the problem with exponential growth becomes the lack of affordable housing. This bill takes the Airbnb market, combines an option with an option for affordable housing. And this is an innovative approach that has unfortunately caused a little bit of fear. And members, I want us to feel good about allowing the free market to help solve the affordable housing crisis instead of just adding another government program on top of another government program. And in the coming months, I'm looking forward to working to that end. And with that, Mr. Chairman and committee, I'd like to take this bill off notice and get ready to fight another day.
Without objection, off notice. Thank you,
Chairman.
Representative
Thank you.
Hill. Moves over to item number 10. House Bill 2423 by Representative Shaw. Representative Shaw, you are recognized.
Local governments that adopt the certain zoning reform strategies to
Is your mic on,
receive.
sir? Is your mic on? It is now, yeah.
It
Okay.
is.
Okay. I'm sorry, go ahead.
It, as I said, will adopt certain zoning reform strategies to receive from the Department of Revenue between 5% and 20% of revenue collected from the recording tax base on transactions in certain jurisdictions is what this bill does, simple bill. And I would ask for approval.
Representative Shaw, I've talked with the administration and some others, and of course, you got that physical note that says that on down into the Department of Revenue will probably lose about $77 million. And that's a big haul for us to send over to finance right now. Would with that in mind, and of course, we know with finance, it's just going to be probably killed or put behind the budget. Would you entertain a motion to take that off notice today?
Mr. Chairman, I'm at your will.
Well, I mean, I'd rather, if you will allow us to, I'd rather take it
Yes,
off
sir.
notice to vote it down because it's going to go behind the budget and for that 77 million. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Without objection, House Bill 2423 is off notice. Thank you.
Have a good day, sir.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 11, House Bill 2215 by Representative Parkinson. Representative Parkinson, we got a motion, second. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, committee. And Mr. Chairman and committee, before I even start, I do want to publicly thank you and thank the committee for your patience on this. This is an important subject matter. You know, there is a big issue that's happening, not just in Shelby County, not just in our state, but nationally, where people are, and in some cases, looking at the obituaries in the newspaper and then coming up with or creating false quitclaim deeds and stealing the properties of these individuals. A lot of times the family members don't find out for years later because they didn't know that the property had been stolen with a fake or fraudulent quitclaim deed. And by that time, the property will have possibly moved into another owner, into someone's family foundation or something like that. And it makes it extremely difficult for those individuals to reclaim their property. And additionally, it costs a lot of money because they have to hire attorneys, have to do a lot of tracking, have to, track the titles and so on and so forth to reclaim their property. And we all know that land ownership is a big key to generational wealth in our families. And so what this bill does is it would create or find solutions to those challenges with quitclaim deeds and other contractual fraudulent actions that are taking place in our community. And Mr. Chairman, with your indulgence, I have an amendment to this bill. I know it's late filed, and I asked for some grace to have this situation studied in TASSR. I talked to our director of TASSR. I also serve on the board of TASSR. And I talked to Dr. Lepard about this prior to coming to you all with this late filed amendment for us to study this issue, because it's a very, very important issue that's harming families in our state.
Thank you, Representative Parker, for that. And I will ask the committee, it's up to the committee. We do have an untimely filed amendment. What amendment number do you have there, Representative Parker?
I have 017469.
That is correct. And the reason I would ask for indulgence, committee, we talked yesterday, we met, and with this amendment, that would put this amendment on, and it would send it to TASSR for study, and they've agreed to look at this. So I'd entertain a motion to take an untimely filed amendment. First motion and second. All those in favor of amendment 17469 going on, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. We're back on the bill as amended, and I believe your bill that amendment says that we will send this bill to TASSR for study. All those in favor of House Bill 2215 going on to TASSR for study, say, oh, excuse me, Representative Rudd, Chairman Rudd, would you want to speak? I'm sorry. You're recognized.
I think it'd be good to go to TASSR. There's one thing that we do need to stipulate, though, which I was going to say on the original bill, is currently the Register of Deeds offices do not have any lawyers. They don't have any staff trained or prepared to do what you want to do. They would have no way of verifying it. They just strictly record anything that comes in. They don't have the legal means to verify if something's illegal or not. So TASSR may want to study that as a part of the bill as well, sir. Thank you.
Representative Parker, you recognize.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And thank you, Chairman Rudd. And that's exactly why, I think this is a good fit for TASSR. Number one, TASSR to me is one of our most brilliant bodies up here. They really get it done in a nonpartisan fashion, bring us the facts. But the other thing is this, just like the Register of Deeds, we have our real estate professionals. We have law firms that are being affected by this, that are facing lawsuits because somebody fraudulently created a contract and then sold it to a firm who thought they had a contract on a property. And so all of these, we want to bring all of these parties together to see what we can do and really, really get a true holistic solution so that we can save people's families, their heirlooms, their pathways to, generational wealth, and those things and those such. So thank you. No, I truly appreciate that. And I do mean that too. So
Thank you. Seeing nothing else, all those in favor of House Bill 2215 going to be a study for taxers, say aye. All opposed, no. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Truly appreciate it.
That brings us to item number 12, House Bill 2956 by Representative G.A. Hardaway. Representative Hardaway, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let's see, I'm recognized on 55 or 56?
2956.
Okay. 56, Mr. Chairman, I want to take off notice.
All right. Without objection, House Bill 2956 is off notice. That moves us down to number 13, House Bill 2955 by Representative G.A. Hardaway. You're recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I just made a mistake. 56 is the one I wanted to run, and 55 is the one I want to take off notice.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to us reconsider our actions on House Bill 2956? Second. All those in favor of reconsidering action on House Bill 2956, say aye. All opposed, no. Okay. We have reconsidered our action on 2956. It is back in the proper form. You are recognized now on 2956.
Thank you, Chairman. And 2956 comes to me from a constituent who wanted to do changes for their significant other in a public building, and the facilities weren't there to accommodate. And there was without going through all of the complications that it caused, I would just simply ask that I get an affirmative vote on House Bill 2956.
Thank you, Representative Hardaway. Well, I'm looking back at this. It's been assigned to the General Subcommittee in the Senate. So there's not much reason for us to move it on. Would you like for us to go ahead and maybe take this one off notice too, and then work on it next year on that?
Mr. Chairman, that was my thought process.
Okay. All those in favor of House Bill 2956 being off notice, well, without objection, 2956 is off notice. Then that moves us over to 2955 out 13, which that's the same thing. Without objection, that would be off notice.
Off notice.
Thank you so much.
And thank you, committee, for your indulgence.
Thank you. Okay. I want to clarify that House Bill number 2215, even though it has been assigned as the amendment to go to TASER, it will move on to full committee. It will be moved on to full committee without objection. Ladies and gentlemen. Special counter. We got a special counter. It's something special today. Let me have a copy of it here. Here we go. House Bill on the special House Bill 1010 by Representative Grills on special calendar has been taken off notice. Without objection, it's off notice. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the business here for this property and planning. And anybody, I think Representative Raper, you're recognized.
This is not a planned speech, but I just want to say what a pleasure it has been to serve with you, Chair. And you do a fabulous job, and you are a tribute to the legislature. I wish you well. I've got mixed emotions in the fact that we're going to miss you, but I know that you are going to have a great time in retirement and hopefully take care of your family, that some may be ill. And the last thing I want to say is I love you, buddy.
Love you. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Chairman Reedy, you recognize.
Thank you, Chairman Carr, and I appreciate your service to the great state of Tennessee. And I've known you. I'm honored to have served 10 years, and in those 10 years, I guess as a freshman, I came to you for many causes, but I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Thompson, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I came to this committee sort of as a late member. I thought I needed more committees, and sometimes I might regret it, but I've never regretted being on this committee and the subcommittee, and I appreciate your fairness and your honesty and everyone really working together to try to putting away, I know we're all politicians, but putting away some of the politics and trying to do the right thing for people in our districts. And hope we both have great retirements too. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Thompson. Chairman Rudd?
Well, where do I begin? It's hard to believe that you will be leaving us. You've been an excellent chairman. I remember when the speaker put me on here and I said, "Oh my Lord, am I being punished?" And it has been a joy serving on the committee and with all of you. And with you, you are one of the most informed chairmen that I've ever served with. And you've got a kind heart and you're a good person and you try to bring everyone together. And I thank you for your service, but most of all, thank you for your friendship.
Thank you. Anyone else? Chairman Crawford, buddy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What can I say about Dale Carr? Dale is the most kind, gentlest friend, leader, and confidant of this state. I've had the opportunity to serve with him ever since I've been in the General Assembly. He is what we call a true Southern gentleman. And if Dale Carr shakes your hand and looks you eye to eye and tells you something, you might as well go bank on it because that's what he'll do. As a full committee chair, I have the privilege of having subcommittees underneath me, and all my subcommittee chairmen are just the best in the legislature. That's my personal opinion. And it's really amazing how God took all of us that serve on the full committees, and he put Jerome Moon, who was a recovering county commissioner, and put him over cities and counties. Dale is a realtor. He is so much more than that. He's an auctioneer. He's an internal auditor. A lot of y'all didn't know that. But Dale has been fantastic, and he understands property and planning better than anybody in this state. And then, of course, Tim Rudd served on the state election commission, and his deal with the party and everything he's done. I don't think I have one subcommittee chair that doesn't have specialty in their fields. And it's really been good for the state to have that knowledge behind these guys. This, as of right now, we understand will be Dale's last committee as chairman. I'm going to try my best not to get emotional, but Dale has done an outstanding job. Outstanding. If he's got questions, he comes to me. If there's something changes, he comes to me. He keeps me informed like nobody else. And of course, then I have the friendship side of Dale Carr.
That's right.
He is our social director. I don't know if y'all know that. Dale is out the one we go to in the evenings and say, "All right, social director, where are we going to eat tonight?" or "What are we doing tonight?"
That's right.
And Dale puts us all together. Dale is the glue of a lot of our friendships, and he will be sorely missed, not just by us as friends, but as a state. And he's retiring for the right reason. He wants to spend more time with his family and his granddaughter as she travels and plays ball and stuff. And so I don't fault him for that. Am I going to miss him? Yeah. Dale's been like a brother to a lot of us. And I love you, man.
I love you too.
You will be missed.
Thank you. And it's hard for me not to get emotional. A lot's been said about me. I wish my wife would have heard it, but okay. But anyway, I got to have my fun. But when Chairman Crawford first came and was was chairman of the full committee, I said I'm gonna do my best to make it work for everybody. And I have loved property and planning, and thank the Lord that finally elections got off of me. Because that is one hard committee, Chairman Rudd. But I do appreciate everybody. I love everybody. My mind tells me to stay. But with the help of these people and the love that I've been shown here, my heart is heavy. But my heart knows I've got to go and do what I've got to do. And I just thank everybody so much. I've been recognized more times for more little awards than I can ever repay everybody, but I just want everybody to know that I truly love you. If you need me to help you do anything, I don't have to be a member down here. You got my phone number. I'll be glad to come down here and help do anything I can possibly do, and I hope to do that. So I don't want to say too much more. I love everybody. If nothing else, without objection, we are adjourned, subject to the call of the chair.
Thank you. Thank you.